realize how hard it is. Men, single women that ain't had kids yet, you're going to have them. It ain't easy being a mama, especially a single mama, and even a married mama, because you carry so much. And I want all the women online and in the room today to give it up for yourself, that you didn't quit. I want all the men up in the room to give it up for the women up in this room. Y'all don't realize us mamas, man, we got like stretch marks. That's why it makes me so mad when men be talking about women, their bodies. I'm like, we had stretch marks for you, right? You got stretch marks. Women are artists. We know how to stuff stuff. You know what I'm saying? We know how to hide stuff. We know how to, y'all, we could be looking like a whole train wreck. Within 10 minutes, we'd be looking like a whole nother woman. Some of y'all don't even look like what you really look like. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all look so much not like yourself that when you get married, he gonna wake up on the day after your wedding. He gonna be like, call 911! Because we women have the art of redoing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we can take a licking and keep on ticking. We women can literally walk through hell and come out on fire. We can walk through a divorce and go in the bathroom and have a meltdown and come out and be like, what? Yeah, we can have a baby. We can carry a whole human. I think y'all need to realize that. You carry a whole human, mamas. And I think some of you are so used to carrying, some of y'all popping babies out like it ain't nothing. Y'all like be walking down the broccoli aisle, just popping a baby out, what? Now we having babies at home and stuff. Like, we're machines. We can have a baby and, like, be in the broccoli aisle cooking the next day, holding our baby and nursing it. Like, we can create a life and then nurse the life. And you should be very, very proud of yourself. So I'm about to sing to y'all. Y'all know what I'm about to sing? You are so beautiful to me. Come on, mama. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? Am I flattened? No. You're everything God ever hoped for. You're everything and more. You are so beautiful to me and God. Yeah, baby, you're beautiful. Mama, you're amazing. You were created in the image of an almighty God. You are beautiful. You're a masterpiece of art. You are priceless. And everything that's broken you in life has made you who you are today. Did you know that every single thing, mama, that you've walked through, God knew before you ever walked through it, that you were going to walk through it, and guess what? He said, I've given you the grace to get through it. I knew before you were ever even a thought in your mama's womb, when you came out of your mama, the doctors heard, wah! But hell, her purpose, destiny, a game changer, a nation shifter, a woman that could take a licking and keep on ticking, a woman that could come out powerful and not pitiful, a woman that could turn her mess into a message, a woman that could turn her scars into stars. That's you, queen. That's you. That's you. And I'm proud to be sitting in a church service with you today when you could be in any church you wanted to. Y'all, I was a single mama. Still a single mama. My plot in life was not to be a single mama. Anybody in here a single mama? How many of y'all wanted to be a single mama? How many of y'all want to be a single mama? How many of y'all, when y'all were walking down the aisle to that man, you were like, I love my dress so much, I'm going to wear it 4 times. None of us did it. Now, some of y'all only been once, some twice, some 3, some 4, some 5, some 6. Some of y'all like the woman at the well. Some of y'all just living with them now. You're like, whoa. But because of God's grace, He said, I know all the imperfect pieces of your life. And in April 2023, in May, we're in May. Lord, I'm living my best life. Don't even know what month it is. I'm out in these streets just killing it. I'm loving life so much, I don't even know what month we in. They knew in May 2023 that you were going to walk up into Limitless and you were going to have an epiphany, that you were going to have an awakening and realize that it took every single turn, every single failure, every single heartbreak, every single betrayal, every single, look, it took everything to make you into the woman and the man that you are today. And I'm looking out over this crowd and I'm thinking, y'all are some of the prettiest people on the planet. And I'm so stinking proud of you. And you ain't seen nothing yet. You mark my words, from this white woman, 50 years old, that didn't get it together till I was 41 years old. Single mama, honey. What? Listen, drove 2 men off with my big old mouth, but I learned, honey. I done learned my lesson. What? Everybody's got a story, but yours is going to be a bestseller. You hear me? Because he thought I was worth saving. So he came and changed your life. He thought you were worth keeping. So he cleaned you up inside. He thought you were to die for. So he sacrificed his life so you could be free, so you could be whole, so you could tell everyone you know. Hallelujah. Glory to the one who changed your life. Today is the best day of the rest of your life. You hear me? Y'all, I'm going to go today from Exodus 2. We're going to start at 2. And can you put up on my screen, I want to skip down to 4. Exodus 2:4. I want to go to Exodus 2:4, if you can put that up on the screen. Exodus 2:4. And it says, and his sister stood afar to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And behold, the baby wept. And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse among the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. What the enemy meant for evil, God is about to shift for your good. And it says, and the woman took the child and nursed it, and the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. See, in this text, what we're seeing is Pharaoh had ordered all the men, all the baby boys to die. But ain't it like God to take a woman that's fearless? See, some of y'all thought y'all were being picked on. Some of y'all thought that y'all were just getting picked on, and you were the black sheep of your family, and you thought that God was just getting you back for things that you had done wrong. But God was really setting you apart because he knew that you wouldn't abort the mission. He knew that he could give you a child at 14 years old and the whole world would turn their back on you and it would cause you not to finish college. But he knew that you would step up to the occasion and boss up like a woman. He knew that the child that you were carrying had to get here. And he said, I'm going to put this baby in your body as a loner. Pharaoh Pharaoh's daughter and became her son, and she called his name Moses, and she said, because I drew him out of the water. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, and he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. So I'm going to title this, Wait a Minute. Any of y'all ever have one of those? You know, we in the series Lost in the Sauce. Now, it's really easy to get lost in the sauce of feeling sorry for yourself, becoming a victim in your own story. It's really easy to become lost in the sauce whenever you feel like you're the black sheep of the family. But baby, I'm here to tell you, you can be the black sheep in the family in one season and the goat in the next. Because we serve a God that said before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. And he also said that I will literally take the things that I started in you and I will finish it. He says in Romans 8:28 that he's working all things together for your good. So when we find ourselves in a season and in a place in our life where we don't understand, as mamas, as daddies, it's really easy for us to begin to get stuck in that what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Anybody ever spent a whole lot of time on that island called shoulda, coulda, woulda? Anybody? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. How has it worked out for you? Giving CPR to dead situations. Mad at circumstances and never owning our part in the story. Mad because our mama could not raise us, but our mama's mama raised us, and now we mad at our mama because our mama wasn't there to raise us. How do you think Moses' mother felt? She raised a child she knew she couldn't raise. Now, if Moses was petty, he could have gotten stuck, and he might have, because he was wrestling with two identities. Because Abraham was told that Moses needed to come so that the lineage could be carried out. And then all of a sudden, this cocky Pharaoh orders all the boys to die. But because Moses' mother was fierce, I bet she didn't feel fierce. I bet she felt sorry for herself. I bet she wondered where God was. I bet whenever she was trying to raise that kid, birthing that kid, and she knew that she wasn't going to be able to keep that kid, the whole time she was birthing that baby, she could have went and got an abortion. She could have given that child immediately and been like, nope, I ain't carrying this baby, because if I can't carry it, then if I can't keep it, I'm not going to carry it. But she chose in that moment to realize that God don't make mistakes. And wherever we find ourselves in our stories, it was not a mistake. It must be God, or we would not have been there. So either in life, we can find ourselves at a place saying, I'm about to make this a bestseller, or I'm about to get stuck in the season. There's defining moments in all of our lives. I want you to think of that. What is a defining moment that shifted the narrative of your life? A defining moment. How many of y'all got more than one? I could put up like 12 body parts right now, because I am a person that needs a lot of defining moments, because I literally have a shirt called Holy Rebel, because I was one that had to, look, I jump in. Anybody else just jump in? Like I don't even think about the future. I mean, I do now because I'm 50. But it took me a long time to finally get to a place where I started thinking about the future. Everything was now. I need it now. I need to do this now. I need to help God now. He ain't moving quick enough, so I need to get in his way. And because of that, I built a story of my life that was very hard for me. But if it wouldn't been for a praying mama, y'all remember your mamas? You know what I think so sad about this generation is we don't hear our kids saying nothing about their praying mamas. Now our mamas are sexy mamas. We don't have the praying mamas no more. Now we got the mamas trying to be sexy. Y'all looking up here at me like, look at you, girl, working out. It's like, yeah, I'm sexy and I can pray. Because I'm going to tell you something. You got to know how to pray. You got to know how to prophesy. You got to know how to speak a thing that is not as though they are. If you push the baby out of your body, it is part of your assignment not to let them go. Why? Because God lives in you. You know how I know he lives in you? You birthed the baby. Some of y'all may never birth the baby. Some of y'all might have not had the opportunity to birth a baby, but you got an auntie. You're an auntie. Baby, you got kids that look up to you. You know how cool it is to be the coolest aunt on the planet? You can send them back to their mama at any moment. When they start crying and acting up, you ain't got to go to the school when they get in trouble. But in life, we get so mad because things don't work out the way we wanted them to work out. And when our expectations don't flow the way we want them to flow, now we got social media. Y'all see how perfect the kids look on social media? I don't even put my kids up there. Because I don't want people to go stalk my kids and think they got to be in a box. I'm like, Morgan and Lincoln, y'all live your life. Why? Because I raised my kids, not always. No, I thought I was the best mom. I thought I only backslid for 3 years. And I backslid when they were babies because I didn't think they would know it. But this woman right here raised me in church. And she raised me every time the doors were open, I had to be in church. And she would take me back to that prayer room. We don't got prayer rooms no more. God forgive me. We'd have prayer rooms. And we'd go back in that prayer room, and within 2 seconds, that woman would be, her nose would turn bright red, and she was weeping and snotting, and I'd be thinking, God, you are such a mean God. You make my mama have to cry like this? Why is my mama crying so hard? She got to cry like this? See, because God, the enemy was setting us up because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So the enemy knew one day that I would be in front of millions bringing people to Jesus, and he didn't want me to ever get there. So he tried to set me up and make me think that God was a mean God and that he was putting me in the dunks court every time I was bad. Enough so that whenever I was 30 years old, I backslid because of church people. True. Because whenever I had a hard time and a hard moment, church people judged me. And I started saying things like, I don't go to church because of hypocrites. I finally realized not going to church because of hypocrites is like not going to the gym because people are fat. The whole reason you got to get in church is so you can drown out the hypocrites. You got to get in there and be so bold and loving that the hypocrites have to leave. Because your spirit agitates their religious demons. I honest to God thought that I only backslid for 3 years. And when I was on Preachers of Atlanta, they threw me in this room and was like, y'all just talk about something. You got 8 hours on camera. I'm like, duh. Well, my job was, I'm going to ask my kids, why y'all ain't saved? I was going to throw them under the bus. Why y'all don't serve at my church? And to my surprise, I said, why y'all don't serve? Everywhere I go, the kids are serving at their mom and daddy's church. And my son said, because we don't like your church. I said, what? It's on national TV. Now, my church was nothing cool like this, okay? It was full of a lot of white people. It was like 6 years ago. This is before, like, I found me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like my church either. But I was like, I raised y'all in church. I raised y'all. And Lincoln, y'all ever met Lincoln? Little smart aleck. He said, raised us in church. We didn't go to church till we moved here. I was like, what? I was only out of church for 3 years. He said, girl, we didn't even walk up into church till you moved us to Atlanta. At least 12 years we were backsliding. And he said, then we move here, and Mimi and Papa are watching this man have revival every night. And we looking over the little balcony, and they laying in the floor every night. We go from our lullabies being screaming and yelling and y'all partying to laying in the floor. So we thought it was one extreme to the other. We didn't like either. How many times in life do we then beat ourselves up because we feel like we failed even as a mom? I didn't step up to the plate quick enough. And I remember in that season, I looked at my sons on that TV show and I said, boys, I just started crying. I forgot the cameras were even there. And I said, I need y'all to forgive me. Forgive me for lying to myself for all those years and acting like I was always there when I wasn't. To fill myself, to fix my void. I lied and I took away from your healing because society told me that I had to be this way, that I had to be like Mimi, that I had to cook like my sister-in-law. And because I can't cook and burn HelloFresh, I can cook now because I learned in the last year. Boom. But I had these ideas because of social media and because of culture and because of life and because of religion that told me if you get divorced, you're going to hell on a slip and slide. And if you ain't got it together and almost retiring at 45 years old and you got to have babies and then be back snatched within 2 weeks. And if you're not, then you better cram yourself in a Spanx and act like you all that and carry yourself like you together all the time. Where is the moments where we could just be vulnerable? Where is the moments where we can feel like Moses' mother and when we let off our kids know that God, I'm going to use this time to get myself in a place that I need to be in. I'm going to own the stuff so I can fix it and my kids can see the comeback story. The comeback story started for me then. My kid said, if you'd get out of the way, he said, you standing in the way trying to be all things to all people, stopping me and everybody else on that platform from doing what they've been called to do because you won't get in your own lane. Because you're trying to fix voids on the inside of you and you have an ambition addiction. What did I do the next week? Set my butt down. And I began to let people do what they were supposed to do. I began to let my kids fly. I began to let my kids talk through some situations. And now to this day, I tell my kids every day, you watched your mama come out from hell. They watched their mama, couldn't even tell you what my favorite color was. Couldn't even tell you what my favorite food was at 32 years old. Couldn't even tell you at 36 years old. I'm at my mother's house, lost everything. Couldn't even buy cheese with my credit. At 36 years old, I'm laying in my bed at my mother's house after my 18-year marriage ended, feeling sorry for myself. Say, God, take this pain away from me. And I heard God say, get up and walk away from it. Because mamas, we put unfair expectations on ourselves when it is not a surprise to God. And he said, I'm going to use every circumstance. I'm going to use every part of your story to set thousands free. Mama, what you're going through ain't even for you, it's for somebody else. The reason the burdens are so heavy for us mamas is because, have you ever seen a man with a paper cut? Or a mosquito bite? But women, we were built, man. You can make a man that feels less about himself become a hero. All you got to do is open your mouth and begin to tell him every day what a king he is. What a lion he is. What a champ he is. How he's the greatest man on the planet. When he walks into a room, you rub his big old keg. He used to have a six-pack, but he ain't got one no more. You're just rubbing it. You just rub. I love my DQ-looking husband. You hear me? I love everything about him because he is all that. And I get to sleep by him every night. I get to have a spend the night party with him. You have the capability to turn a child that is wayward back to Jesus just because you know how to love them right. A mother is the glue of the family. A mother is a secret keeper. A mother is a one that can tell her husband, you know the kids, baby. They just in a growing stage. And she goes and tells the kids, you know how your daddy is. You know he loves you. So happy Mother's Day to all the women in here that had a moment that woke you up. Happy Mother's Day to the moment that woke you up. Happy Mother's Day that you could have quit, but you didn't. Happy Mother's Day to the women that stood up and became grown. That when you wanted to lay down and cry, you got back up again. In this text, we see a courageous woman who chose to have her baby but couldn't keep it. She birthed her baby under the threat of death. So we got to honor her for that. Then we also got to honor the midwives that were good liars. Because it takes a village. The promise that God had made to Abraham could not come into fruition if it wasn't for Moses' mother. If mama, you just get a Moses here, here's what he's saying. If you, mama, just get your baby here and get them through elementary school. Some of y'all lost your babies before they could even get to elementary school because you married somebody that lied on you and you didn't have money to fight them. Nothing like a divorce to make a mama lose her breath. Because a mama is protective. A daddy's protective. But the enemy comes in and skews the love, and all of a sudden, we hate each other more than we love our kids. And it becomes a tit for tat. And those moments are where you got to realize that God created me for this assignment. And wherever I find myself is where I'm going to come out like a boss. I'm going to come out and I'm going to celebrate every season. And my kids are going to see me rise up. My kids are going to see me and call me blessed. Mama, you were built for this. Moses' mother had no idea she was delivering the baby who would deliver her. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's that crazy kid that gives you the most hell that ends up saving you. It's a kid, you know how long I kept my mama on her knees? My mom, up until I was 36, 37, 38, 39 years old, finally about 39 years old. I didn't preach my first sermon until I was 41. Because I was out trying to find myself. I don't even know why I was trying to find myself. I had a mom and a daddy that stayed together. I wasn't even in a split home. But I was trying to find myself because when you got a call of God on your lap, the enemy fights you harder. You listen to me. The enemy is not fighting you because you're weak. He's fighting you because you're strong. This is why you can't lay down and die. This is why you ain't got to take it to the phone. You got to take it to the throne. You got to learn how to get down on your knees. That baby was born. They put that baby in a basket. She watched her baby begin to sail through the snakes and the murky water. And this is us, moms. When your kids get grown, you got to let them go. You got to know when to move. You got to know when to hush up. You got to know when to let them fly. I had 2 boys scared the living dickens out of me because I'm a mama's girl. I take care of my mama. But boy, when boys come into the picture, I'll never forget when Lincoln left my house. He looked at me. He said, look at me. One last time in my bedroom. He said, because I'll never be back. He said, it ain't because I don't love you. He says, because I'm a man. And you built me to be a lion. He said, so I'm about to leave your house. And he said, before I ever walk back in this house again, I will go sail whatever I got to sail. I will live in a box under a bridge. He said, but I'm going to make you and God proud. This single mama here that was ratchet, this single mama that had made mistakes, this single mama that wasn't always there. I began to pick myself up like Moses' mother. I began to pick myself up and I began to watch my kids sail and I began to work on myself. I'll never forget, y'all, at 38 years old, laying in my bed in Facebook, and I was seeing on Facebook there was 25 things that I love about me, and it was what I was telling you and y'all were telling me. My favorite food is banana sandwiches with mayonnaise. Stupid questions. But I wanted to do it. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite color was. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite food was. I'd lost myself trying to get love from the wrong places. Trying to fill voids. Because I needed to feel needed. And I was addicted to ambition. I was addicted to fixing things. And so the enemy knew what I wanted, so he'd always put the wrong stuff in front of me. Because the enemy can't take you out, so he wears you out. And he does it most of the time with relationships. He blesses you with relationships, and the devil messes you up with relationships. Because in order to go to another level, he'll always bring relationships. Hello, Pharaoh's daughter. See, God needed Moses to get into the palace because he was going to be a deliverer. Moses' mother couldn't do it. She was slavery. She was in bondage. But God had worked it out the whole time. I'm going to put him in the water, and then I'm going to allow Pharaoh's daughter to be sunbathing, and I'm going to let her find Moses because he works all things together for our good. And I'm going to allow the situation to take place where the midwives are going to say, do you need someone to feed Moses? Because Pharaoh's mother could birth the purpose. Pharaoh's daughter could birth the purpose, but she didn't have the milk. She didn't have the food. Some of y'all are mad today because your mama didn't raise you, but your mama did all she could do. Your grandma raised you because it takes a village. Your auntie raised you because it takes a village. And we're mad at a God moment. And we're going through life not appreciating the moments that woke us up. I remember laying in my bed that night saying, God, I want to know 25 things that's good about me. Here I am, 37. I lost everything, even my 18-year marriage. Raised in a religion that said if you get divorced, you're going to hell on a slip and slide. And because I was such a broken girl, I found myself living out my biggest fear, which was divorce. And then having to be humbled by moving back in with my mama because I had nowhere else to go. I had 6-figure income, lost everything. Couldn't even buy cheese with my credit. Devastated. Couldn't even tell you what my favorite color was. My kids needed their mom, and I was so broken that I couldn't even be there for them. And in that season is where I met God. Maybe you're there. Maybe you found yourself like Moses' mama, having to let your kid go. Don't beat yourself up. You did all you could do. And you got to know when to take your hands off of it. You got to know when to let them stay in jail. You got to know when to stop enabling your grown kids. You got to know when to stop taking it personal and realize it's a vendetta from the devil trying to take your kid out. But he can't touch them because you're the mama. No weapon formed against your children shall prosper. Your kids are the head and not the tail, the top and not the bottom. And you may be very, very weary and very, very tired, but I'm here to tell you today, mama, you were built for this. I remember telling God, I want to know 25 things that's good about me. And 7 days later, it was Mother's Day, and Lincoln brings me a poem. He brings me that poem, and it says, number 1 said, there's 35 things that I love about you. It wasn't even 25 things. It was 35. And number 1 said, I love you, mama, because you were the loudest one at my basketball games. Angel, he used to tell me every time that we were going to the basketball games, mama, if you yell, I'm never going to tell you again that there's a basketball game. And Buddy, every time he would hit a goal, I go, ah! Only to find out at 38 years old, it was what he loved. You may not see the gratification right now, Mom. But one day, because you didn't quit, because you worked 3 jobs and couldn't go to all their games, because you starved some nights so they could eat. I started thinking about all the trips I didn't get to go on and how I'm not in any of the vacation pictures hardly when they were growing up because I was working. And I just think about how my kids turned out so beautiful. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be on those trips because they needed a solid Mimi and Papa speaking into their lives while the wreckage of my soul was being healed. Because he's working all things together. Number 6 said, I love you, Mama, because you conquered hell in high heels. And I remember my son said, you think that everybody looks at you like you're thrown away because you couldn't keep a man, but I look at you like, look at you killing it. Because what would take most people out brought you out, made you a better mama. If you wouldn't have walked through all you walked through, you wouldn't be who you are today, Mama. And I remember that one poem, y'all, had me feeling like I was Shiro. I even started a ministry called Conquering Hell in High Heels. And I never preached one sermon. For 4 years, I didn't have these conferences and fill up auditoriums and wouldn't even preach because I was scared. But my boy believed in me. My 2 sons could be strung out on drugs. And have they been perfect? No. I done bailed them out of jail. Said I'd never do it, but I did. I said, I'm giving you one chance. You got one chance. You know why? Because I watched my mama walk in when I was walking drunk at her house in pain. I watched my mama lay on top of me and tell the devil, you can't take my kid. You can't take my kid's anointing. I'd come in smoking pot that was laced. I'd be like, I'm dying. She'd be like, girl, you ain't dying. You just got a hold of something. And I'd hear in my ear, shout to the Lord, all the earth, let us sing. Power and majesty, pray. I'm trying to be high. Rude. Rude. Moses' mother couldn't teach him to be a deliverer because she was in bondage herself. The beautiful thing about this story today is understanding that where somebody left off, someone else can pick up. Pharaoh's daughter was the gateway to Moses' future. God put you in situations that you needed to make you tough, Mama. You got to stop feeling sorry for yourself for what Mama didn't give you. She gave you all she had. Thank God for the mentors that came in and saw you. Some of y'all walked into this house and I've become your mama. I won't let you lay down. Your mama was an enabler, but I won't coddle you because you didn't need no coddler. You needed a woman that was going to look at you and say, get up. You go in that room and you have a meltdown and you come out in 24 hours like a soldier. You needed a pastor that would look at you and say, go back to that man. He's a good man. You needed a pastor that would look at you and tell you, get up. Just because he walked out don't mean God walked out. Your destiny is not defined by that father that walked out on you. Your destiny is not defined by that mama that wasn't there for you. Your destiny is not defined by your mistakes. Your destiny is not defined if you were swinging on a pink pony pole 2 weeks ago. Your destiny is at any given moment when you have a wake-up moment and say, I ain't staying here. God didn't raise you to fit in, Mama. The enemy is such a punk. He's made us ladies get lost in our emotions. We petty. We mad every other day. Offended at everything. We proud of the fact. You ain't got to worry about my mouth. Just watch my face. Oh, you don't want these hands. Because the enemy doesn't want us to walk in the softness, the gentleness, but boss-like qualities that can birth a whole nation out of our bodies. Queens, I'm calling you to step back into your role. Step back into your position. Take back your authority. God is about to bring some of you single women your man. And you better not mess it up. You better not let your mouth mess it up. You better not let your mouth mess up your blessing. The pain that you feel may not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. But this is me, take it or leave it. We're leaving it. I'm calling you back, Queen. God did it for me at 50. I just turned 50. At 36 years old, I lost everything and had to move back in with my mama. Couldn't even buy cheese with my credit. At 40 years old, 41 years old to be exact, I got to quit Bloomingdale's and go full-time ministry because I had a video that went viral. People call me the one-hit wonder. She ain't gonna be here long. Hey, I ain't going nowhere. Why? Because I got my heart right. I stopped being petty. I stopped being mad. Look, I don't put up with nothing now. You hear me? I love you, but I will leave you, okay? I got a do not disturb up on my heart. You ain't gonna mess my joy up. You ain't gonna make me walk around with pins and needles because you won't get healed. You had the same opportunity I had to get healed. You ain't gonna suck me dry. I'm gonna take the straw out. No. I'm gonna be around some sharp knife friends. I ain't hanging around with no butter knife friends in this season. No. I'm birthing nations, baby. Birthing natural kids may be over for me, but I'm building nations of spiritual children, and we're making heaven more crowded. Queen, it is time to take your position. It's time. Stand up on your feet. It's time for us to stop being pitiful. It's time for us to stop comparing. It's time for us to stop being confused. It's time for us to stop thinking it's everybody's obligation to make us happy. No, it's not. Nobody owes us nothing. And here's my challenge to all the queens in this house and online. If Moses' mother could learn when to hush up, to quit, to step aside, and say, God, I'm giving you these kids that you trusted me with. I'm stepping back into position. Y'all listen to me, it ain't never too late. I didn't write my first book until I was 42. I didn't start my podcast until I was 46. Just signed my first 6-figure book deal at 49. I didn't live by myself until 4 years ago. I was always in a relationship. 4 years ago, when I began to live by myself, it was the greatest thing I ever did because I found me. So that I wouldn't be my next husband. I'm going to get married again. Y'all going to see here. I'm going to be such a good wife, y'all. I'm going to be such an example of a great wife. I'll be like, oh, you want something to eat at 12 o'clock at night? What you want? You want grilled cheese? You want fries? You want me to run you a bath? What you want, baby? I'm going to be the stand-up. I'm going to be the poster child. Y'all hear me? Bring him! Because wives, women, you can be a millionaire a billionaire, a boss, and the greatest wife on the planet. You can pastor a church. You can run a huge business. You can be a mother. You can even be a team mom. You can carry every hat because you were built for this. Stop saying it's hard. Stop focusing on how hard it is. Stop focusing on how lonely you are. I'm so lonely. Get a purpose. Ain't no man wanting a woman that's needy like that. Then he gonna marry you and you ain't gonna let him like go with his boys to watch a game. Don't leave me. Girl, bye. Y'all like, he wants a damsel in distress. No, he don't. We're whole for a reason, queens. So today, your challenge is to put back on your crown. Maybe you're 50. Maybe you're just getting started. But it ain't over. Why? Because you are so beautiful. And you just get better with age. Something happens the older us women get. Ain't nothing like a mature woman. Whew, a healthy, whole, mature woman. You hear me? Baby. It's time. How many women up for it? I'm up for the challenge. Some of y'all like, girl, I ain't. Y'all got that mean mug at me right now. Girl, bye. Yo, I'm just telling you something. I only tell you stuff that I've made it through and that I'm walking through and that I'm conquering. I always tell y'all what's here, which is me, trickles down on you. And I know I'm carrying something, baby, because everything I touch is blessed. And I'm a late bloomer. And God has a way of taking time that you messed up, and he shoves all the time that you got left in the time that you got left. He said in Joel 2:25, he gonna give you back everything the devil stole. That's even the stupid mistakes you made when you were trying to be a Build-A-Bear manufacturer. Why? Because he knows your name. He knows your name. When you wake up in the morning, the devil hears crap. She's up. This is a season where you come back with warrior soldier moves. You're like this. Girl, you don't look like what you've been through. Nope. I sure don't, because I can't. People ever said that to you? I can't believe you made it. What do you mean? Ken, what do you mean? What do you mean how I made it? I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. Mamas, we don't got a choice. So today I dare you to thank God for the moments that made you a bad sister. Girl, you bad. Girl, you are bad. God trusted you with so much. And guess what? You just getting started. How does that feel? Does that take your breath away? Some of y'all like, oh, I'm ready to retire. I'm praying that you get so much Holy Ghost hibby-jibbies down on the inside of you that you get so contagious that everywhere you go, they're like, girl, you wear me out, but I don't want you to get out of my presence. I pray that everywhere you go, that you are light. That when you walk in, you are contagious. It has to be on you. If it's on me, if you really want it, I want every person in this room to lift your hands up like this. Say, Father, thank you for the wake-up moment. Thank you for the next doors that you are opening in my life in the next 24 hours, in the next 48 hours. God, I'm excited about the take my breath away seasons that you are bringing, because I didn't quit. I wanted to, but I didn't. So take that, devil. So devil, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. sad no more. I'm not depressed no more. I'm not angry no more in those seasons. I'm like Moses' mama. I'm going to let you sail away. And I'm still going to be a part of your story. Here's the story. In the end, Moses saw one of the Hebrews getting beaten, and he said, wait a minute. He's beating me. See, a lot of times, if Mimi would not have let me go fly, I would have never been able to understand millions of people all over the world. If she would have saved me, she'll tell you stories of me up in that room crying until the joints of my fingers were aching, and God would tell her, don't you go up there. This is something between me and Kim. So, Mama, kudos. You're doing a great job. You are raising warriors. And if God can shift to Kimberly Ann Jones, I promise you He's going to shift your babies too. And they're going to make sense of why they had to go through what they went through. You hear me? So here's what I want us to do in here. I want us to give it up one more time for that moment that made us who we are today. Come on. Thank you for that wake-up call. Thank you for that wake-up call. Thank you for that wake-up call. Come on, give your sister. Come on, give it. Y'all, today, if you're a single mama and you don't feel validated and loved and approved of and appreciated, go buy yourself a cake. Go on Shein and buy you a whole haul. Buy you a bunch of outfits. It's $10 an outfit. It ain't what you wear, it's how you wear it. You hear me? Spoil you. You putting Jordan on your kids' feet and you ain't got shoes. Stop it. Take care of you. Deal? Y'all know how much I love y'all? How much? How much? I love y'all so much, man. I believe in you. I celebrate you. And you're doing a great job, Mama. Y'all take a listen to Nicole's story.
I had no idea I would be diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021, but God knew. And He was sending me little angels to be there to help pray with me. My grandkids were the biggest blessings in my life. They would come, they would wait on me and peek their heads in the door and say, Mama, do you need anything? And if they heard me moaning, they would say, are you okay? And if I said no, they would say, oh, we're going to pray for you. And they would immediately stop and say a prayer. And Destiny was good for her because I've taught her how to lay hands on and pray. And she would come and lay hands and pray. The greatest blessings I think of having my grandkids is that sometimes our lives is the only Bible that people will read. And I get to get up every day and show Christ to my grandkids. They're reading me, they're looking at me, they're mimicking me, and they love praise and worship. They love being in the presence of God. Pastor Kim has taught me to walk in my truth and just own my stuff. I was able to be a better mother because it allows me to just take the word of God and pray over the situation instead of being mad in it, complaining about it, and just giving energy to what the enemy is doing versus telling the enemy what my God is doing. And that's what she teaches me to do, is to speak life, because life and death is in my tongue. And so I'm learning to be a better mother because I'm speaking over my kids, over myself. And as she says, the oil is on her and it flows down. So I'm all under her to get all grease.